Hi everyone, we hope you're enjoying the Customer Marketing Summit so far. Before we dive back in, we wanted to let you know that after the summit, the amazing content does not stop there. We're heading to New York for our second in-person Customer Marketing Summit, where you'll be able to hear from some of the best customer marketers in the industry and network with your peers face to face. Our lineup features experts from companies such as Google, PayPal, Cisco, and Workday. And if you can't wait until December 8th, our podcast, Customer Marketing Catch-Up, is available to listen to now. You'll get insights from some of the biggest names in customer marketing today. From advocacy and churn to customer advisory boards and cross-departmental collaboration, put your headphones in and listen to your fellow customer marketers' unique stories and advice, all while on the go. I'll be sharing the links in the live chat, but for now, back to the Customer Marketing Summit.
Good morning. Thanks for joining me today. Today's session starts with a simple proverb that we've all heard before. It takes a village to raise a child. Simply put, it's the interactions and the care provided by each and every member of a community that directly impact the development, health, and success of its own children. That exact same principle applies directly to your advocate community. Every interaction and the care provided across your whole team, from billing and support to sales, customer success, and marketing, influences your ability to build and nurture a flourishing community. I'm looking forward to our discussion today, but before we dive in, I just want to share a little bit about me. My name is Dave Hansen. I'm the Customer Marketing Director at LRN. We provide ethics and compliance training solutions to more than 1,000 companies across the globe. Quite proud of the work that we've done. Just in this past year alone, 6 of our clients were recognized with Brandon Hall Excellence Awards for various aspects of their training programs that we collaborated on. In general, I'm very passionate about training and development. I've spent more than 18 years of my life in higher education or training in some capacity. A fun fact, one of my earliest jobs was that of a community development manager in higher education, where I was charged with building up a local community to support our students and help create jobs for our graduates. And that was well before most of today's community platforms existed. On a personal note, I'm a proud dad of 2. I'm an amateur chef, I'm a coffee enthusiast, I'm a drummer, I'm a scuba diver. Before we dive in, just one last note, I guess. Don't be shy. I'm here in the Q&A. I'm always happy to answer any of your questions or trade dad jokes or recipes. So a little background on how we got here and why I proposed this topic for this morning. By now, most of you have heard and have seen what I clipped here. According to an article from LinkedIn, customer marketing managers are amongst the fastest growing jobs around the world. That's not all too surprising to me, and I don't think it's been all too surprising to most people who have been around this. I quote Jeffrey Moore very frequently, and it's something that we all see. Customers are the scarce ingredient in the economic equation. Customers are becoming increasingly important and prioritized. This has kind of led to a place where community is really becoming table stakes at this point. Added to the attention that customer marketing is getting, check out that diagram that's in the upper right-hand corner of this slide. This is from the State of Customer Marketing report by the Community Roundtable. And it's interesting. It depicts your executive's perspective of your community program between 2017 and 2022. Community isn't just on our executives' minds, but it's being held in some high esteem, with 88% reporting a positive or very positive outlook, that darker blue bar there. I bring all of this up to say that the environment's right. Community is picking up steam and it's getting a lot of momentum. However, there's also an interesting stat from the Customer Marketing Alliance's State of Customer Marketing report that was delivered earlier this year. Around 44% of you declared that you're a team of 1. With only another 26% reporting that you have 2 to 3 members on your customer marketing team. Now, between the various communities for customer marketers and the reports I read, there are so many stories of customer marketers being asked to do it all. This list goes on and on, right? It's program management, advisory boards, case studies, references, referrals, reviews, moments of delight, net promoter score, voice of customer, CSM campaigns, events, and so on. When everything's a priority, we know that nothing is a priority. And that becomes even truer when you are a team of 1 or even that team of 2 to 3. So why do I say all of this? when you're faced with a lot of work and you're on a small team, the best course of action is to look for champions and other support across your organization to help carry the burden. It takes a community to build a community. Which brings me back to CMA's State of Customer Marketing report and another pair of interesting statistics. The question here asked, on average, outside of your customer marketing team, how many internal people are you interacting with each day? This was then converted to percentages. So that big orange bar that you see down the middle, it depicts 30.7% thought that 30 to 40% of their role involved internal collaboration. Now, it's great to see that so many of us spend a fair amount of time with internal collaboration, but still a combined 61-ish percent spend 40% of their time or less collaborating with others. Really, the argument I'm making here is that there's so much more to be gained for working to increase collaboration. The other statistic that stood out to me, and it's probably the next most obvious question then, is where do you spend time outside of customer marketing? And according to the CMA, 50% of you and all the other respondents reported that cross collaboration happens with client success teams, 30.8% with product marketing, and 19.2% with sales. I don't know about you, but this is all shockingly low to me. My assumption is that all of us can agree. Community is a catalyst that can support many of our organization's largest goals. Let's just look at these three groups alone. How many of their goals also exist within your definition of community? So if customer service is generally focused on some combination of increasing customer satisfaction, decreasing churn, and increasing growth, increasing product adoption, cross-sell, whatever you refer to it as. Product generally focused on what? Understanding the needs of customers in the industry, building stuff, driving innovation, building sustainably, that is not creating bugs, not wanting to bog down your team, and also just bringing all of the new stuff to the market, pulling product marketing in there. And then sales, probably the most obvious of these groups, but what are they responsible for? Building pipeline, increasing revenue. That's not all, though. I mean, they also obviously have a direct impact on churn. They're focused on boosting value, and they're also just about as market-facing as you can get within your organization. So really, there's a lot of really natural alignment between these teams and community, a huge opportunity for more collaboration. What does this look like at LRN? So here's a graphic that I use to explain it to our team. Our community hub, LRN CoLab, it's the center of the universe for all of our shared goals. Everything we want to do as an organization as we strive for customer obsession starts and ends with building out and growing an active, engaged community. So community, like the sun in this case, provides all of the energy that breathes life into each of these initiatives and others that might be missing from this graphic. But take a look at, references, reviews, referrals, renewal and upsell, testimonials. All of those have that direct connection back to the sales organization as a whole. Research, advisory boards, net promoter score, getting some of that VOC in there, webinars and speaking opportunities, other content, all directly speak back into marketing. So there is a lot of connection between what community can deliver and all of these other departments that are looking for those aspects. It really is just a direct influence across the whole organization. This isn't even talking about all of the other benefits like reduced support tickets and just generally building a stronger brand. All of the stuff that's on the slide directly equals some sort of ROI, which is really the language that the whole company should be able to speak. So let's actually talk about the process then for building this, for ensuring that your internal community is on board and can help to host and support an external community. Young communities need to be nurtured. It's not just your customers that are in your actual community, but your internal stakeholders need to be nurtured right alongside that group. So with that goal of increased collaboration, here are 3 tips that I've used to engage my teams and gain some internal support and collaboration. The first tip is discovery. Now, I'm borrowing this from our friends over in sales. I think most of you are probably familiar with discovery. This is that first sales meeting, right? Where you're there to build some sort of basis of a relationship. What are you looking for? But really, what are those pain points that you're feeling that caused you to look for that thing? And then let's find some common ground and talk about next steps. So for me, discovery starts with ask for invitations to other department meetings. As I was first building my community, I'd regularly attend department meetings for customer success, new business, product, and advisory, which is kind of like our consulting function. To start, I just asked to be a fly in the wall. This step is really just about observation, learning, understanding. That's it. What projects are these teams working on? What rocks do they hit? Where do they find success? Where do they fall down? Are there common themes that come up in these meetings? And then asking myself, how does this tie back to what I'm building with community or what my personal vision is for community? I then follow up on those department meetings. Set time to meet with department heads or leaders in each department, those outspoken folks who are on the team. Confirm the things that you heard from those meetings. Get the answers to things you didn't understand. Build those personal relationships. It's just like nurturing your client community. Show genuine interest in what they're working on and trying to accomplish. And repetition is important here. I said I did this when we first started it up, but this isn't just show up once. Become a regular contributor. This also ties back later with another tip. You'll need to share your hopes and your dreams and everything else, but really the goal here is to create a common vision. All of this discovery is all about building a case, about finding those areas for collaboration. For me, I then had to present my vision for community to our leadership team. In that presentation, it was just filled with slides that tied directly back to the goals and the alignment of all of our teams and how people could contribute into it. From that meeting, I then was able to actually share that vision to the whole company at one of our weekly company-wide meetings. Having all eyes across the company really provides so much visibility into what we're building and helps also drive collaboration. So here is a small taste of our proposal for the community vision. All of this was fleshed out in much more of a concrete action plan with supporting slides and points and actually numbers behind goals and things like that. But this at least gives you that 10,000 foot level. And I think really most importantly demonstrates how elements of other department goals make their way into a community vision. So take a look at that first area where it says vision. LRN CoLab is the center of our advocacy efforts and serves as a desired destination for our clients or prospects to connect with each other and our brand to accelerate professional and business growth. Our lively and active network will share insights, experiences, innovation, and best practices while community becomes a differentiator for LRN. It kind of maps out the benefits to LRN as well as the benefits to our customers. But it also touches on things like insights and experiences and best practices, which kind of speak to product and sales and customer success. And again, our advisory departments. The partner experience part is maybe less relevant. Really, it's talking about having a highly personalized experience for each customer, which we know is possible in today's platforms. But the key to that one is delivering the right content to the right people when it's appropriate for them. To be able to get all of the content that meets the different personas requires having inputs that are coming in from different departments across an organization. And last on this slide, at some of these goals. I mean, again, these are like the directional goals, not the concrete, what we actually need to show goals, but delight every LRN partner by delivering value beyond their contract to increase retention and upsell. That directly speaks to everything that client success is interested in knowing. How can we deliver value to our customers so that they stick around and are inspired enough to spend more? Create an insider's atmosphere to connect with partners in a more authentic way. We want their voice, not ours, when we're marketing things or when we're building things. Embed the LRN voice and value within each partner at deeper levels. Create the LRN partner advocates to help nurture prospects, directly speaking to sales there. Accelerate the creation of powerful client-generated content. Marketing loves this. Establish LRN community as a leading competitive advantage. Tip number 2, their goals are your goals. I think a fitting alternative title for this tip could also be speak the language of each department. One of my old managers once told me that I needed to be my own CEO. What he really meant by it was that I need to pay attention to all the drivers, all the trends and influencers that impact the business, and then connect them back to my own business. So my goals as a customer marketer matter, but they only get amplified when I can put them in context of broader business goals, when I can speak that business language. Um, again, to borrow from sales, this is also the step where we need to tie those pain points back to solutions. I noticed there's a session later today that's called Building a Business Case for Customer Marketing, Communicating Metrics That Matter. I assume Robert, the speaker, will probably dive into something related to speaking the language of business in his session. And that topic absolutely needs its own session. So I will be in there later if you're looking for me. But let me share just a couple of other anecdotes that I use that are outside of the clear ROI associated with a business case. This is one of my absolute favorite reports that came from Forrester. It was the 2021 State of Customer Obsession Survey. There's actually a conversation about this in CMA's Slack channel in the past few weeks too. So many firms claim to be customer obsessed, but really coming from Forrester's research, only about 6% of the organizations that were in this survey, that was 500 plus groups, actually hit that mark. So 6%. So when I talk about the importance of collaboration and the need for an organization to embrace a customer community, this is the chart I have in mind as I'm having those conversations. We are striving to be a customer obsessed organization. I can own we're not there yet. But who doesn't want to be customer obsessed? This chart says it all. If you improve focus on the customer, customer obsessed brands are reporting higher instances of improved customer advocacy, better products, reduced costs, easier to enter new markets, help us recruit better. Every single one of these is a benefit that's felt across the company. These aren't community-only benefits. These are organization-wide benefits. This is probably a little bit more of a practical note. I leveraged this chart really when I want to demonstrate where and how community impacts our key departments. So each of the benefits that's on this slide, new content for marketing that's coming from community, testimonials, a voice of customer, referrals, references, reviews, case studies, advisory boards, all of those tie back to department goals in some way, shape, or form. Maybe they just support them from a surface level. But anyways, this is a quick at a glance way to be able to say, here's how we all work together to build this thing. Since I keep referencing sales, I guess here's another one, always be closing. This case, though, I'm talking about closing the feedback loop. Everything to this point's really been about building up and nurturing our internal community. But much like with our clients, our colleagues need to know that they were heard and they can be heard in the future, that anything that they contribute is actually being used and that we're always open for improvement. So feedback truly matters. Trying to think of some good examples here, but going back to the discovery stage when I said, get in those department meetings and listen. Start asking for 5 minutes where you can share outcomes in those meetings. A few good examples that I could think of from that. Our content team on the product side was looking for more insight and help prioritizing some proposed courses that they wanted to make. They helped design a challenge for our community. I had the opportunity to then go back to that team and present those results and kind of talk about the personas behind them. A few weeks back, we launched several new products, a couple major enhancements. Go check them out, yay LRN. But this was another collaboration with product where we identified and pulled in beta testers. Now, some of this work is still underway, but this wasn't just Dave work, something that Dave had to do or my team had to do. I'm not a team of one, but we worked together with our product team to get that messaging, set up meetings, work on timing, reporting, and use of all of it. I think one last example here is about our CSMs. Our community is relatively new. It launched late February. So many of our clients are still used to going to their CSMs when they have questions about best practices or some tips and tricks. Our CSMs are great, though. They take some of those and they send it back to our community team so that we can turn them into a challenge and publish it. We do publish it and we do share those directly in those team meetings. Because having those results is just fantastic. It's the voice of customer, but it also deepens our CSM's knowledge of the industry. So a nice benefit there. I think the key here to going in meetings and sharing some of this feedback, though, is also don't leave empty-handed. Ask for more. Hey, I've heard your team talking about X being a rock. Would it be helpful if we include something about that in our community? What else should we add to our community? What would be beneficial to you? Another good step for helping close the loop and get that feedback, let your team be there to see it firsthand. Invite your internal team into your community. We have an open invite for our internal team to join Collab. The magic of them being able to see things in real time can't be understated. We asked something in our discussion not too long ago that was like, if you had a magic wand and could fix one thing in your program, what would it be? And I thought there were some fantastic eye-opening responses, but this led to an opportunity for outstanding customer service because somebody was like, if I could only do this one thing, and his CSM followed up and was like, you can do that. You have the tools to do it. Let me show you how. That's good white glove service right there. But it also does create an opportunity for growth if, they're asking for something that they don't have currently. We also want our community to be part of the routine for our clients. So it's only fair that we would ask that it becomes the same for our own team. So we do ask any of our CSMs and sales folks to be in there as regularly as possible. But even with reps in there, seeing anything happening in community live, I still ping them whenever something, I see something that they should be aware of. I think the last major thing I would say here for closing the loop is get on company meeting agendas. I present to our leadership team every quarter, and I also share quarterly results with the whole company during one of our weekly company-wide meetings. Again, having that stage just shows community is a priority, which just drives collaboration. My inbox is never more full than after I present at one of those meetings with people sharing ideas and opportunities. Sorry, one last example here, and this is another one that I love. We have a section in our bi-monthly newsletter called Overheard and Collab. This is really anything. It could be a quote, results of a survey, just whatever we think is meaningful to sales. Sometimes something fun, sometimes something insightful. Just one thing though, if you could hear one thing, what is it for this one? The example I posted above, I had to blur out and cut out some things that are sensitive material, but it's important for recognition. I call out the people who helped with something. And I also, again, ask for, hey, what else do you have? What else can we post in here? And then I give the results. So the last section here, now that the team is on board, excited to collaborate, how can they help you grow the community and drive that engagement? So the first point here is this is a team game. I mean, this brings it back to the title of this whole discussion. It takes a village. In many ways, I think of my role as an enablement position. How can I get others in my organization to talk about LRN Collab, our community, and encourage others to join too? What are the resources and talking points they need? Where do they have those discussions? So, as a first step, I would recommend map out your client lifecycle. What interaction does a client have all the way from, top of the funnel as a prospect all the way down to the bottom funnel where they're a full-fledged advocate? What are all the interactions? I think you'll discover a large number of your colleagues who interact with your clients along the way. Each of those interactions is an opportunity for client growth. Here are just a bunch of recruitment channels that I could think of off the top of my head that kind of involve some sort of cross collaboration with our team. I mean, some of these are, pretty obvious. Get your leadership team to send out an invitation, whether that's a video or something printed or an email. Again, I think it shows the priority. Community is a priority when it comes from those leadership positions. Various email stuff, arm your team with the messaging that they need to go out there and preach the good word of community. I'm not going to read through all these, but I think email signature is a fun one. I hate email signatures. That is my confession for the day. I think, keeping up with email signatures across an organization is just hard work. If it changes, trying to get everyone to change it. Someone always has a question about how do I change it. I can go on and on about email signatures. However, it is something that requires involvement from across the company. And it's actually contributed something like 4% of our signups for our community. And we've been doing client interviews as well. What do you think of our community? How did you learn about our community? And even if they didn't click on email signature, everyone references the fact that they saw that email signature. So I guess I shouldn't hate it too much. But here are just, again, some other examples of team functions that could help with recruitment. Second tip is monitor those sources. This one is pretty easy. Data is important. Watch where people are signing up from. Figure out what's working, what's not working. If something's not working, be patient, test it, tweak it, figure out how you can optimize those results. I've also used these results to motivate teams. Hey, CSMs, the implementation team is crushing with community signups. Where are yours? Perhaps all of this leads to some sort of signup contest down the road. And my very last tip, and certainly not least, it's actually a bit of summary of everything we discussed so far. Client obsession is a journey, and one that most of us just aren't there yet. Embrace it. Embrace that. Be a cheerleader for all of your teams. Speak up. Share what's happening in the community, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything. Advocate for more opportunities to pull clients into different initiatives across your organization. The more your internal teams hear and see the benefits of a community, the more that it'll get embraced, which will then just lead to more growth and engagement across the way. Again, it takes a community to build a community. Thanks for joining me today. Please don't hesitate to ping with any questions. I'm sitting over there in the Q&A. You can also find me on CMA Slack, or I'm also on LinkedIn. Again, I appreciate you joining me today. Take care. Bye.
Hi everyone, I'm Kevin Lau, Senior Director of Customer Advocacy at F5. Now with the global pandemic and news of impending recession, companies have now renewed their focus on customer retention. Now as a customer marketer, wouldn't it be nice if you had the exact playbook and guide to follow on the specific action steps that you could take to drive real value for your customers? Well, I'm excited to share that I'll be launching a Customer Advocacy Master's course to learn how to create a game-changing customer experiences that actually do drive business growth in your own career momentum. We'll delve into the fundamentals, and we'll even talk about the strategy as we take a step-by-step approach to building a customer advocacy program from the ground up. Be sure to be on the lookout for more information throughout today's event on how you can get started. Talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.
These days, authentic customer reviews, referrals, and references are what buyers trust and value most when making purchasing decisions. That's where Influitive comes in. We're the advocacy, community, and engagement platform of choice for the world's most customer-obsessed brands, including Adobe, Cisco, IBM, and Mountain Dew. Our advanced targeting, personalization, gamification, and rewards drive extreme engagement and customer growth at scale. Let Influitive help you turn your customers into loyal advocates and grow your business.